Hello and welcome. I'm Psychic Medium Roberto, and I truly hope you're doing well today. Well, I've been drawn back to part 3, and there is some relevant new information which was shared by a viewer. Of course, it's the current, or at least say one of the storylines going, and that of a gentleman by the name of Thomas. And Scotty, thank you for your request, and Scotty, thank you for bringing it to my attention. All right, so I thought let's have a look. And when I had a glimpse, I think, if I recall, I replied very early this morning. Yeah, roundabout, and years when I started doing the research, just after 3:30 in the morning. A lot of energy in the air. I promise you, I did sleep a good chunk. And when I responded to Scotty, I said, just when I thought I was going to have a weekend off. All right, here we go. Now, here's a new chart. And of course, there is a lot of information. I will take you through it step by step. Just stay with me. We've got Thomas, date of birth on the top left, born June 22, 1978. Of course, Catherine in the middle, and I don't mean to make light of that. And then William, okay? Now, let's go first to February the 25th. And above February the 25th, it says discovered. So although the royals announced the so-called suicide on February the 27th, according to their report, the discovery of Thomas was made on February the 25th, as the story goes currently in the media. However, we can say that's valid. We can discover a body 2 days after the event, because I believe the actual day of the murder was on February the 23rd. So February the 23rd, you'll see I've drawn a red line there. Now I'm going to go back to each of these days and just expand so that we have a clear idea of what was going on here. So where that red line, the reason why I drew the red line was I was looking for, now this is of course based in the media, gunshot wound to the head. And that is normally indicated by the number 6. And because we have a buildup of 6s on the February the 23rd, so let's put that one side. On February the 23rd, we got all those 6s. So for me, there's a good likelihood that the gunshot would have happened in that time, which then would have been sunset to midnight. Now, the February the 24th, and we'll go deeper. I'm just giving you an outline. The 24/6 is of course, it appears at sunrise, or from midnight to sunrise, rather. But what I was looking for of evidence of more guns or shooting, 6s, right? So on February the 24th, I've only got that 24/6, which I don't believe in this context currently is the gunshot. I would say the gunshot would fall on the February the 23rd. February the 25th, now let's say they discover the body, whatever time it was, on that day as well. 0 gunshot wounds or gunshots, let's rather say, in my opinion. And then February the 22nd, again, we see that the 24/6. Now, I'm going to explain what that 24/6 is. We'll get there. But my first point, of course, was where did the actual shooting happen? And of course, we must also say, well, did he actually get shot? I think he got shot, yeah. February the 23rd, 33/6 outcome of the day. Also a 15/6, which alludes me to an affair, I would say, in my opinion. 15/6 is like the older man having fun type thing. All right, so, and we, let's just qualify that, and I mean, two wrongs don't make a right or deserve to be murdered in that case. But there's also been news reports of William having had an affair, and the woman that was actually spotted in the car on another fake Catherine picture, supposedly in the car with William, was his new lover, or his lover that he's had for quite a while, I would imagine. So let's not count those white lilies too soon. Here we have a treacherous situation, ladies and gentlemen. You'll also, just a quick note, you might have noticed as well, 26/8 is on the scene again. And if you recall in the previous videos, 26/8 is a staging. Once again, made to believe to fool the public of what actually transpired on the evening of February the 23rd. But we'll get there. We'll get to the full story. So let's go back now to February the 25th. Here we go. February the 25th. We have the presence of the 25/7. Now, this is the day, the so-called Discovery Day, right? So, of course, the puppet masters behind the walls would have had this ready, anyway, you know what I mean. 25/7 pings directly on Thomas. If you look there on the year that he's born, 25/7 pings directly on him. The 27/9 in the middle of the situation, in my opinion, and I've written there, at the heart of the matter is 27/9. Now, coincidentally, it matches directly, same position as William 27/9. Now, 27/9 is also the murder. Okay. So although 27/9 pings directly on William, 27/9 also represents a murder. Not a suicide. I do have a playlist of suicidal murders. 26/8 around staging the body, staging the story, staging the situation. And you'll also notice on the discovered day, the so-called discovered day, we have that pillar of eights. And in the second reading, and of course in the first reading, eights all around town. Too many eights. And even the day after, February the 26th, too many eights around here. It's all lies, 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 lies. And in fact, February the 26th, 26/8, we have the 28/10/1, which also pings directly at the heart of Thomas, 28/10/1. So lied about the murder, and the murder is the 18/9 murder. So, in my opinion, this was definitely not a self-inflicted gunshot wound, in my opinion. And I'm going to say it in this episode, and I know I've been holding a little bit back, just a little bit. I mean, I've made myself clear here. But I must say, William's date of birth and numbers and what I'm getting from him looking at him now in this perspective, because I've never really looked at the royal family in any other way prior to this, other than the same as anyone else. The famous royal family, the big hoo-ha around Charles and Camilla, and the People's Princess Diana. No one is going to forget that. And of course, when Mom dies, the Queen Mother, the internal strife begins. Because obviously the Queen held the reins very, very tightly in that palace. And I believe William here is unraveling very quickly. So if we go on the premise of the affair, and, everyone's personal life is everyone's personal life. It's been banded around the social media realm. So I had a look, and there's no judgment here, but I'm just looking for relationship information and what is going on leading up to the day Thomas is murdered. So you'll see my calendar kind of goes a little bit backwards. So I got to the 23rd, and then I included the 22nd, 21st, and 20th. I went back to the 20th, February the 20th. That is enough time for me, 3 days leading up to the actual day. There's enough information. So on February the 20th, very emotional day. Tears. Big family issue, 20. We have the 22-4, which pings directly on Thomas. We have the 33, big feminine energy, possibly Thomas's wife. Let's not forget her. About 12-3, which is Catherine, pings directly on Catherine. I haven't highlighted these. I'm going to leave it open. Regardless of what you do, and of course, infidelity, if you, the person receiving the news that your partner's been running around town, it's not very nice, right? So, but still, as we know in crimes of passion, doesn't deserve murder, surely, right? I mean, the purists on one hand would say, well, just get a divorce and move on with the other person, But life ain't that simple. And if the life and times of Princess Diana is anything to go by, life behind these walls must be treacherous. And I believe the passing of the Queen, as much as everyone else started pulling their own ways and the unity within the walls became polarized, and in particular also with Prince Harry and Meghan leaving the UK. So it starts unraveling. So we get to February the 21st, 21-3, pings directly on young William. 23-5, about an affair, which is now must come to an end, 13-4. However, because we have double eights in the air, when we're in the 8th year, and we have that 23-5, and if I look at Williams, and I'll get there, if you look at Williams' date of birth, he can be quite the volcanic eruption type person. Very, very much so. We recall, and I'm not speaking out of turn, you recall there was a comment made by Prince Harry when I believe was it during their wedding or sometime after, where Prince Harry pushed. I beg your pardon. Prince William pushed Prince Harry to the ground. So a lot of little tears and little gaping holes coming through the veil. That's by February the 21. So let's just say 13-4 can be new beginnings. Let's move on, honey. All is forgiven. Unfortunately, you have that 31-4 there as well. Now, this is all about choice. 31-4, not very good. Death is in the air. That when we get to February the 22nd, I'm seeing the 22-4 pings directly on Thomas. The 24-6, family issues. However, 24-6 can also become heated, aggressive, angry. 14-5, yeah, there's the answer for me. So when I was putting these dates together, I got the impression, I believe he would have been spoken to before this situation. Because I picked up a 44 and I couldn't find it, but it's in the 14-5. Okay, let me explain myself. I had an impression that I believe it would have been February the 22nd. Yeah, February the 22nd, Thomas would have received either a visitor or a message, but there was definitely a communication to him about the situation. That when we get to February the 23rd, we see the 257, 25-7, the 8s, 33-6. Yeah, not a good outcome on that day. And in the minds of the perpetrators and the puppet master, because I don't believe William, and I'm just doing a double check now actually, I don't believe William was at the scene at the time. However, when we get to the Discover Day, which for me is the Reflection Day, which is the February the 25th, 27-9 in the heart of the matter. Mr. William is in the middle of the story. 25-7 pings directly on Thomas. 17-8 pings directly on Thomas. So if you ever wanted to try get a good match, you can't go wrong with that. I'm just going to copy this pillar from the Discovered Day, because I'm going to talk about William a little bit. I think he deserves a mention. I've been pinged on today to mention this, so I'm going to mention it. I guess we have a live case here, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so what I did was I put that bar over June 21, 1982 William. There's too many twos here for this guy. It's like his emotional EQ must be challenging. And then you have the brute numbers of 21, 3, 6. Angry pants. Angry pants. Putting it mildly. 27-9 can be an inspiration number, can be the creation, invention, artistic, the Buddha in you, the higher self, the serving self. Instead, some go down a different path. And those 11 twos, always willing to break the law if needed. No problem there. No problem there. So we've got William at the heart of the situation surrounding Thomas. So that when we get to February the 26th, 26-8, staging, what we know about the situation is fake, false, it's a lie. 28-10-1, communications is a lie. The communication serves the royal family, 10-1. And all about a murder, 18-9. All right, so that's what I have on this situation. These are the only new dates I'm going to include here. I honestly thought I was done with this. All right, so let's leave it for now. Let's see what happens going forward. And then please leave your comments. I love engaging with your comments. And I love to see and hear what you have to say. And please stay safe and have a good one. Bye for now.